Greetings, this is Bairdo, and we're back for another episode of Her Story. We're searching for glaziers.
A mobile phone? Yeah. Well, they have one for the glaziers, but it's only for work. I can't remember the number. Oh, it's in the kitchen. I saw it plugged into its charging cradle. I did. Well, we met when we were 17, both working at the glaziers. No. Everyone loved Simon. He's a glazier who doesn't have much money. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, we didn't learn too much from that. Split. Nope. I just want to see split personality. Parents, Glazier, Sarah, Ava. Alright. Ava. Okay, nothing to learn there. Eve, we already looked up. Mum.
Yeah, when I was at school. I worked part-time in the front shop. It was sort of an extended family thing. My dad used to work there, my mum worked there before I was born. I took care of paperwork, filing, typing out invoices, that kind of thing. It was a good job for a girl back then. I didn't work a till or anything though. I was quite shy, so I wouldn't have liked to have worked a till.
I want to remember shy. I'm going to look that up next.
Mum and Dad had never had any reason to notice. They were always busy. If Hannah was eating a lot, they didn't mind. She didn't put on any weight. That girl has a healthy appetite. If they heard us talking in the attic, they just thought it was Hannah playing one of her games, and that Eve was our imaginary friend. Once, she was already up and dressed and ready to go to school, and I snuck down for a piss. Mum saw me in my underwear, she went mad. Get dressed this instant! So I ducked into our bedroom, and seconds later, out came Hannah, dressed and ready. Mum was amazed.
See, I don't buy that at all. I mean, there's no way that these parents could live in this house and not realize that they had two daughters. So I'm really thinking split personality. I'm just going to search for midwife.
Florence raised me in her home. I never left it. She kept me out of sight. It wasn't odd for people to see a midwife with a baby, carrying in supplies, washing nappies, that sort of thing. I never knew any different. I grew up looking out of my window and seeing her across the road. I thought it was like a reflection in the mirror. She was me.
So the parents never noticed that there was this girl across the road, even in an attic. I mean, must have seen her at some times. And never noticed that, hey, that looks a lot like our daughter. Ah, there's a few here, from this day.
Florence took me home with her. Mother hadn't been expecting twins and had a healthy baby. I guess she was just happy for Florence to clean up. Take away the evidence that this was anything but a happy occasion.
So obviously, if there were twins, she'd resent Hannah. So I don't see them working together or anything like that.
Florence was a warm, kind person. But she was broken, I guess. When I found her diary, I also found a biscuit tin with other stuff in it. Older papers, letters, that kind of thing. Her story wasn't there. I never really spoke to her about it. I was far too young to really understand, I guess. I just put it together later, once I was older. She had loved children, planned to have a large family, but her husband died in the war. And that was back when you married for life. She never felt like she could marry again. Isn't that strange? She was a widow from her 20s. But, I mean, I guess it was different then. You know, you married for life and she felt she could never marry again. I guess it was harder, a war widow. One of the dead. I don't know, maybe there was more to it than that. I don't really know.
Okay, we've kind of moved away from figuring out who killed Simon, so we're going to do some keywords after this.
It was just me and her. It was the name they were going to call their first child. They talked about it, and were going to try when he came back. Florence's family had a history of firstborn girls, so they were convinced it was going to be a girl. It's hard to know if this is all true. These are stories I remember, that I read when I was a child. Maybe I misread, maybe I misunderstood. Sometimes it's hard to remember what happened last week.
Like, it's convincing her what she's doing, because it does seem like she had a twin and she was raised by the midwife across the street, but at the same time, I just don't buy that the parents wouldn't know that this girl was in the attic either. Like, yeah. Anyways, we're gonna search for some stuff relating to Simon, because I'm pretty sure she killed him. There's much more to this story. Also, crazy. Yep.
I mean, what if they were crazy? You hear about these crazy people all the time. I mean, why would anyone who knew Simon want to kill him? Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me. They talked. She'd enjoyed being me. He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present, another mirror, just like the one he'd given her earlier. That unique present. She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open.
Oh.
She'd only meant to scare him off.
Okay. So yeah, I'm guessing my theory is she killed him, but she's a split personality. She has Hannah and Eve. So yeah, that's what I think. Anyways, we're gonna finish off our keywords here. Where's my mom? Bin bags. Okay. Attic.
Yes, I read a lot as a child and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we still have in the attic. It's kind of a fairy castle. We used to play up there and make up our own stories.
I think the dollhouse might have something to do with this. Yep.
I'm not sure where the dollhouse came from. I don't know if it was given to them or they inherited it. I mean, they wouldn't have had the money to buy it. It was so huge. It must have been taken up to the attic in parts and then reassembled up there. It's a beautiful thing. Wallpaper to scale, little furniture, the lights work, mirrors, beds, big duvets and pillows. We spent hours and hours playing it, invented all these characters and families who lived there. We wrote paperwork for them all, passports, diaries, and gave them all really elaborate stories. Once, a moth got trapped in there. We'd left a light on. It was making the most horrendous noise. We tried to kill it, but it was tough. We ended up crushing it under a copy of the Arabian Nights. The legal stuff was completed very quickly. Hannah moved back in with Simon. Eric gave Simon the week off to help with the move. He decorated, modernised wallpaper curtains. Hannah insists the attic be left as it was, dollhouse and all. Simon never went up there.
Okay. Twins.
Twins? Really? Are you really asking me that question?
Okay.
Are you out of your mind? Twins? There were always princes and princesses. They were the special people, more important than the other characters in their stories. We knew we were like that. Twins. Magical. We were the princesses. We had a poster of Princess Diana from the newspaper up in our attic. Had a pride of place. And underneath we used to put all our special things. When her engagement was announced, we were obsessed with everything she did. And later, when her life went so bad, we felt for her. Her divorce last year just kind of drew a line under things.
The thing is, like, I can't prove that she's not the same person because I need to see both of them sitting together kind of thing. And Twins was the last one. I got a couple more. The rest.
Like I said, I think I was popping out to get something, ran out of something, had to grab something. I sometimes drive too fast. If you want, you can arrest me for that.
Ha ha ha.
This is a nicer room. This is where you take people when it's time to arrest them. Yes. No lawyer. What are you going to arrest me for? Can you arrest someone who doesn't exist?
Okay, so that's an interesting clue. That's why I think that Hannah doesn't exist. It's only Eve.
This other person doesn't exist. I don't know what the blonde wig is, but it could be anything.
Oh, we should search for a wig.
So I moved out. Got a small bed sit. Got my tattoo to mark the occasion. I was singing in a bar in the evenings. So I had some money, enough money to cover my rent.
Wig, tattoo.
And I've been doing something similar ever since. I haven't put down any roots. I don't exist.
Ah, that's... Okay, so she's saying she never existed.
No, he doesn't have any tattoos. He has a scar down here near his stomach, past his hip. Cut himself with some glass. That was before, a long time ago. He looks just like the photo. He's not got his glasses on here though. He takes them off for the camera. But he needs them to see properly.
Glasses.
You know, he has to read. a newspaper or a menu in a restaurant. Not book so much, or watching TV. He likes TV. Oh, my tattoo. I got it to express my individuality. It's an apple and a snake.
Eve, okay, yeah. That makes sense. She wants to be an individual. Ooh, another achievement. Wants to be an individual, so that actually makes sense.
He saw me singing one of my shows. Pure chance. Not sure I remember what he was even doing there. Afterwards, I had a drink at the bar and he came over and we got talking. I knew who he was. Obviously I knew who he was. But he didn't know who I was. He was fascinated by the likeness. He guessed my name from my tattoo. Told me it was a palindrome, like that would impress me. I enjoyed talking to him.
Even
It was
Hannah, both
amazing
palindromes.
to be able to sit and interact and talk to him after all this time. He didn't tell me he was married. I'm not sure what he was thinking. He later told me it was like he was dreaming. A waking dream.
Chit chat? Almost. Can I even type anything? Yes, I'm almost done.
A wig? You mean... But what type of wig?
What? I can't type.
No, I've never worn a wig. What kind of wig? This was about 9. I went round and she was waiting for me. She was furious and so angry, the kind of anger you can only have towards yourself. We screamed at each other, argued, cried, we fought. I hit her back, left a bruise. I had my wig on from performing, she tore it off. Eventually, we grew tired of fighting and I left. Bruise? Oh, yeah, no, it's nothing. I was going through the top cupboard in my kitchen and the chair slipped and I kind of hit the door with my face. I mean, it hurt like hell. The bruise.
Wrong
I have
side.
a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes.
Okay, it just all cleared up for me.
I don't know if there's much more that I can tell you, but I haven't already told the other policeman. I found the body.
Okay.
If one of us got hurt, the other one would have to be hurt too. A grazed knee, a bruise. When I lost my tooth first, we had to pull out Hannah's to match. Once, I slept with a boy who was seeing another girl. The girlfriend came up to Hannah the next day and punched her in the face, gave her a huge black eye. That night, she had to do the same to me. But she almost went too far. I couldn't see out of that eye for days. But she snuck frozen peas up for me from the kitchen. So much of our bodies was synchronised anyway. We started our period on the same day, all our childhood diseases, stomach bugs, nits.
Okay, yeah, so that pretty much cleared it right up for me. So clearly there are 2 people. If one had the bruise, the other didn't. She touched the wrong side of her face. So there are 2. The one sister killed the husband, because the husband met Eve at the some bar she was singing. She wore a blonde wig. He really liked it. They obviously started a relationship, and the other sister found out, killed her husband in a rage, and that's where we are. I think that's what we'll search, and then we'll be done.
An affair? Simon wasn't having an affair. You're reaching here. And I don't know why. No, I've never cheated on anyone. I've never taken anything from anyone. Simon is dead. But I have my baby to care for. Why are you trying to make me sad? Why are you so obsessed with sex and affairs? You cheated on your wife. Is this your thing?
Easy now.
And what did your wife do? She didn't kill you. You think I killed Simon because he was having an affair?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
I didn't kill him. I wasn't even there. I was in Glasgow worrying about whether my baby was still growing inside me.
Right.
I mean,
She
why
didn't.
would I kill Simon?
Her sister
I loved
did.
him.
Her sister did. Yeah, that's what happened. Okay. Ew. Cheat. Sorry, I said that was it, but let's just look up cheat. Last one.
Mum and Dad never knew what was going on. We got so good at it. We were so in sync that we'd use each other to cheat. If one of us had a hangover, whoever was best at a subject would sit the exam. There were lots of differences between us. Some things one is better than the other at.
Okay. Well, we're going to call it there. Like I said, twins. One killed her husband because the husband was sleeping with her sister, didn't realize they were twins, and they're kind of both helping to cover it up. So that's what I think happened. So yeah, I guess we'll log off, quit, and there we go. That was a fantastic game. I really enjoyed that game. If you enjoyed it, please click like. If you really enjoyed it, please click subscribe, and we'll see you again next time.